Okay guys, this is going to go over how to find, install, and connect to the CTY2 controller. Um, it's not going to be that bad. It's just going to fight you a little bit, as a lot of this stuff does. Shout out to John Angel. He was the first one to go public with this information. So all of us that have tried to help people and put out information on these great bikes have essentially stood on John Angel's shoulders because he was the first one to go public with it. Open your browser. You're going to go up to the bar, type in Kelly Controller. You can see it right there at the top, kellycontroller.com/support. That's where we're going to find the app to make your Onyx lives a little bit more livable. Alright, so it's going to bring you to this screen. It's got a list of bunch of, all these are apps that work for different controllers, different bikes, different applications. So we have to find a specific one, AC Adducer. The one for AC Adducer is right here, second from the bottom of these three-letter options here. KAC is the one you want to hit. KAC, okay? That's going to give you AC Adducer. We don't want the PC version. We want the Android version, which is the second option here. Click on that. As you can see at the top of the screen, it downloaded the file. Let's not open it from there. Let's just close this completely and go back. We're going to go into our apps, hit Files, hit Downloads, hit AC Adducer English. That's the one we just downloaded. It's a zip file. That's the one we want. But we're going to have to extract it just like you would on some Windows shit, stuff like that. So hit extract, and that's going to give us an actual usable app. AC Adducer English APK. It's an APK. That's the one we want to use. We can go ahead and click the box to delete the zip file. You don't need it anymore, so just get rid of that. Hit done. And it extracted the files, so go back up and hit AC Adducer APK. Do you want to install? Yes, I want to install it. Okay, so depending on your settings on your phone, guys, it's going to try very hard to cockblock you from installing this app from an unknown source. Do not hit got it. Click on the part right above that where it says more details, and that's going to give us the option right there to install anyway. Click on install anyway, because that's what we want to do. We want to install this shit anyway, so keep your warnings. I don't need them. Alright, so once you hit install anyway, let's go ahead and click on it. Do you want to update this app? Sure. Let it update. We don't want to open it yet, okay? What we want to do at this point, let's go back to our settings, and we're going to pair a new device. At this point, you want to go ahead and turn the bike on. Sorry, gotta get my keys. Alright, turn the bike on. Make sure the bike's on. Hit pair new device. Okay, the one we're looking for is at the bottom of these options here. It's going to be the only one with the hyphen. That's the controller on your bike. 2 letters, 2 numbers, and a hyphen, and then some more numbers. Okay, the one right above it with no hyphen, that's the battery. That's not the one we want right now. So we want the one with the hyphen. That's going to be your controller. Click on it. Click on it. let's take a step back here because it's already in my phone. I want to walk you through exactly how to do this. Let's forget it. Now let's pair new device. Click on the one with the hyphen. Pairing, this is going to ask us for a password. This is the part that I wanted to show you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the password. Hit OK, and now it's paired. Now, guys, we're going to go back to our apps, right? AC Adducer should be in your app list at this point. AC Adducer is the one you just downloaded. That's the one you want. So open it. All these permissions, guys, just let it ride. Don't try to turn any of them off or do anything stupid. It's just going to make your life harder. You want to give it all its permissions so it can do what you want it to do. Okay, so hit continue. This app was built for an older version of Android and probably will be for your phone too, right? So just hit OK. It's has a little bit of problem with the scripting, a little bit of problem with the format. It's not really that big of a deal. It may or may not even show up on yours. It just depends on, what you got. Okay, so we're at a warning screen. This is a warning. Do not try to change these settings while you're riding the bike. Okay, that would be bad for you, bad for the bike, and bad for the family of 5 that you will probably wreck into and take out whenever things start malfunctioning. Okay, so don't do that. Press yes to continue that the motor is not running. Okay, select the type of comm. Comm stands for communication. We want to communicate with the bike wirelessly through Bluetooth. We don't have the one that's checked now, F2232. That's for a cable that we do not have. So we're going to click Bluetooth, hit yes, try to get into this thing, okay? So now you can see it's going to say open, close, R and W at the bottom. Let's hit open and see if it gives us the option that we paired with earlier with the hyphen. As you can see, we're going to choose that option. It's trying to connect. Connection failed. Okay, let's hit it again. Connection failed. Okay, one more time. Connecting. Connection failed. Okay, what we're going to do at this point, guys, turn off the bike. Toggle the Bluetooth off. Wait a couple seconds. Toggle the bike back on. Toggle the Bluetooth back on. And let's go at it again. We're going to keep humping this cat until it gives in. Connected. There it is. All right. So, at this point, guys, you're going to see at the bottom of the screen R and W, okay, right next to open and close. That's going to be read data and write data. Read and write data to your bike, all right? So we're going to go ahead and hit the R to read the data on the controller. I'm going to go ahead and that screen will pop up, which is good. We will scroll down. Okay, main thing here, guys, you're going to see on the right here, max forward speed percentage. You can see mine is set to 98. That's more due to me having a stock battery, or a second stock battery, I should say. That's not something you may not be able to get away with 98, but I recommend starting at 96 or 97, somewhere one of those two numbers. The reason for this, and the reason why I recommend this, is because some people have probably already got their stock bike. They probably went for that first ride and they were like trying to see, hey, let's see how fast this thing will go, and you're ripping full throttle several seconds and then the bike shuts off on you. And then you're like, oh God, I screwed up my bike. I just paid all my money. And you're going to take all your money out of your pocket and you're going to set it on the seat. And you're going to be like, please have mercy on me. Take the rest of my money, please. And, before you know it, you're going to realize that the bike's fine. You're going to turn it back on and everything's going to seem normal. But this is still not a good thing. This is still not acceptable for a bike like this to do this. The reason why it's doing it is because the battery is not happy with how much current you're drawing, and the bike comes with the max forward speed set to 100%. That's not what you want. That's not going to work for you, okay? It's not going to make your riding experience enjoyable. You need something limiting you from being able to make the bike shut down. It's not safe, it's not practical, it's not fun, it's not good, okay? So there's no need for you to have to feather the throttle and hope and pray. So the best thing for you to do is to start out with the max forward speed about 96 or 97%, okay? That's on a stock bike. You can run it to 98 the way I see it here, but I keep in mind I have 2 batteries, so it's a different setup. It's going to want to tend to not overcurrent itself more so than it will with one stock battery. So let's check a couple other settings out. Mid speed, forward speed. That's our Asian friends' way of saying normal mode. Okay, you see mine set at 85%. Again, guys, this is not going to be the same as what you guys are probably going to want to do on a stock bike. But low speed, forward speed, that's eco mode. You see mine set to 65. Okay, let's check out some other settings here. Up at the top of where we first scrolled down from, battery current percent, mine is set at 60%. Okay, my recommended setting for that on a stock bike is 50. 50%, I wouldn't go any higher than that. I would even consider going lower. The default on a stock bike is 25%. There's a reason why it's there. It's gonna make more power, but it's gonna heat up the motor and it's gonna make the battery more unhappy. So I would keep that at 50% on a stock bike or lower. That's because that's without any cooling mods in the motor. That's without any battery mods, things of that nature. I tend to lean toward the more balanced experience on the bike. I don't want to even come close to maxing out the bike because that's not where its happy place is, as we talked about earlier. So 98% max forward speed is where I'm at. You guys can try that. It will not hurt to try it, but you want to thoroughly test to make sure, push it hard to make sure your bike's not going to shut off on you. The top speed is not going to be much different. It's not going to feel much different in the top end until you get down to about 95. 95 is going to give most people between 49 and 51 miles per hour, depending on how big or small of a fella or lady you are. So what you want to do is play with it a little bit is my advice. See how far you can go before it starts shutting off on you. Raise it by 1% at a time until it shuts off on you, and then drop it back down 1%, and then that's your sweet spot. Like I said, up in the 97, 98%, you're not going to feel much difference in top speed numbers. You're not going to see much different in top speed numbers. It's going to look very similar to 100%. Once you start getting down into 96, 95, you're going to see 1 mile an hour, 2 miles an hour max, but usually less. Usually, less than 2 for sure. So just keep that in mind, guys. Another setting that a lot of people like to change is the accel time. You can see it over here on the left. Mine is set to 3. The default is 5. Okay, so I don't recommend. You can step it down to 4 on a stock bike. The difference is not huge at 4. The lower you set that number, the faster your bike will accelerate, and it starts to become noticeably unforgiving at 3. And you have to be very careful when you're stopped at a light or whatever the case, and then you're about to have to make a hard right 90-degree turn onto a street, hard left 90-degree turn onto a street. You don't want to be hard on the throttle when you do that because it's going to go faster than what you used to. The recommendation from everybody is to step this down one or two, one number at a time. You don't want to really go too far with it. Just one number at a time, get used to it, maybe try it again. 4 is not a huge change from the stock default 5. 3 is a noticeable change in the way your bike will accelerate, and it's not forgiving. Guys, you want to be careful with that. I recommend 4, as well as battery current percent 50% max. Those are my recommended max settings on a stock bike with no motor cooling mods and no battery mods. You can push it further than that. Obviously, there's a lot of people that do. They probably don't ride their bike the way that I do, so I wasn't able really to get away with that. You guys can try it depending on your riding preference, your riding style, your throttle feathering ability, and all that stuff comes into play. So that's the other big setting. Keep in mind, guys, all these settings that you're seeing are for a dual battery setup with motor cooling mods. When you want to change the settings, let's go down to low speed, forward speed. Just click the box with the number in it next to the setting you want to change. Click the box, it's going to pop up and allow you to edit the number. Let's go from 62 to 65. Don't hit next up here. That's just going to take you straight to the next setting, and you don't want to be changing stuff on here. Most of these things you want to leave alone to avoid midnight house fires and things like that, which are not good. So just hit back on the phone, go back. You're going to see that the low forward speed has changed to 65. You're not done yet, though. Bottom of the screen, the W to write the data to the bike, okay? Data write completely, as our Asian friend would say. We're going to hit OK. And let's read it again. Hit the R right next to close to read it again to make sure our settings took. And go back down to low speed, forward speed. As you can see, 65. It's took. That's good. And just let it sit for about 30 seconds after you close, after you hit close and disconnect from the controller. Turn off the bike, 30 seconds, turn back on the bike, or else you're not going to be happy. You're going to be jump on the bike while it was still on the whole time. None of your settings are going to take. You're going to be like, oh shit, I screwed it all up. None of the settings works, and what am I going to do? And it's just a total nightmare. The bike's going to catch on fire and kill everybody. It's not going to be good, okay? So just make sure you turn off the bike, reboot the bike after you update the settings, right? Same concept as what you're used to for computers and things of that nature. That way, when you go for a ride, you're going to be happy at what just happened, and you're probably going to want to tweak it again for the second time and dial it in. Be patient with it. Don't try to do too much at one time, and enjoy it.